Many of my clients, kids 12 years old, 13, 14, 15, 16, suffer from school refusal. They stop going to school, sometimes for days, other times for weeks, other times years. And then I meet the family, I meet the kid, and I start a process of helping the kid empower themselves. The goal in treating school refusal is not necessarily bringing the child back to school, although it is an important goal, but bringing the child back to school when they are stronger, when their self-esteem is intact, when they feel empowered. Getting the child back to school when they feel extremely vulnerable can re-traumatize them. It is not helpful. How do I know? I've done that in the past. I managed to coerce young people to return to school. Then they experienced intense shame, intense panic, and then they returned back home, and this time for months. So when we help a student return back to school, they need to feel that they can tolerate the difficulties that caused them to withdraw the first place. This is extremely important because parents and school staff, they evaluate the kids, the students' development on whether they returned or did not return to school. We call this binary thinking: good, bad, in school, out of school, winner, loser. In Contactivity, we have an alternative concept. We call it complexity mind. Learning to deal with contradictory emotions, thoughts at the same time. Hi, my name is Yuri Weinblatt. I'm a clinical psychologist and the developer of Contactivity, a therapeutic, educational approach to helping young people become motivated, become more active, and reduce their avoidant behaviors. So most of my practice is composed of young people who avoid school. They do not necessarily refuse school, they avoid it. Refusal is something active. Avoidance is something passive. These young people often suffer from passivity in general. Often the only place that they are active is when they play video games. And there's a very good reason. Not because video games are so addictive, but because video games are the only place where these young people feel a sense of value. Often it's the only place where they feel a sense of community. So of course they will rush. Of course they'll get addicted to having value and having a place where they feel that they belong. This is not addiction. This makes sense. So our goal then is to help the young person, the student, to feel that they have value and that they can feel a sense of belonging. And even if they can't, that they can tolerate the experience of not belonging. How do we move young people forward in this sense? Well, in Contactivity, we cultivate 4 capacities or abilities. One is openness. In general, what does openness mean? That the child can accept something from the outside and reveal something from the inside. Second component, flexibility. Often kids who refuse or avoid school are rather rigid. They are either good students or bad students, accepted or rejected. So we want them to develop that complexity mind that I mentioned. The third element is courage. Kids who avoid school need to develop a courageous attitude in order to return to the place that they ran away from, to the place that triggered their shame response. One needs to make a decision. I'm going to do it, even if it's difficult for me. And the fourth component is connection or contact. And we help the school refuser to become more connected not only with other people, with their families and with friends, but with themselves. Because the more they are connected, and I mean connected, I mean being fully connected to different parts, different wishes, not only one, not only being connected to shame, not only being connected to anxiety, but to their whole experience. This is the way to empower the person and help them accept themselves just a little bit more. And as their self-acceptance increases, as they become more open, as they become more flexible, then suddenly, one day, they say, I think I'll go to school today. And this happens without a plan, which is very, very interesting. But it's because they feel connected, they feel courageous, they are willing to take chances, they are open to dealing with challenges, and they're flexible enough to allow themselves different ways of acting and relating.